Yeah.
I need a drink. All right, episode 5, Buds Aplenty. I've got 2 guests on for the first time in show history.
That's what's up.
It's a short history, but it's good to make some changes.
Yeah.
We've got to my left what would be the adjectives to describe Mr. Zeb Ehringer?
I don't know. Claw machine master.
Claw machine master.
Probably.
For those of you who went on the wondrous field trip, 8th grade, Alabama Space Camp, Zeb spent like
$80.
a good $80 on a crane game. That's no exaggeration.
And then worth it though, right?
Oh yeah, I won probably 70% of the time.
Yeah, there's no joke to that. To my right, Mr. Groundskeeper, soon hopefully groundskeeper, current what's the
custodian, maintenance guy.
Current maintenance guy for Salem High School, son of the legendary Joe England, Kyle England. How you doing, friend?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Wonderful. Enjoying some. What we got? Built to last Pilsner and Captain Tripp's Happy Summer Ale from Chili Water. You guys enjoying your beer?
Oh yeah, very good.
I think it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my
definitely
third one.
Enjoying it.
Yeah, Kyle's really getting through it pretty quick. Kyle, not a man of the craft beer because he's from Salem, Indiana, where the only craft beer you can get is.
I don't even know what's available in Salem.
I know they have Sun King in Scottsburg, but that's about all I can tell you. And there's
me.
Yep. So it's been good to catch up. Zeb, I see him on the regular. Kyle, never.
Not so much. Yeah.
Not so much. So what have you been up to?
Just working a lot, and track season's finally over. I coach track in the springtime, and so it's opened up my schedule a little bit there.
Yeah. What made you want to be a coach?
I ran track forever, and one day my old track coach asked me to help him out one day. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not going to pass this opportunity up.
Yeah.
I want to stick around and help out the program as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. Zeb, you've left the home grounds of Salem, and now have moved up here to what's the
Trafalgar is the technical name.
Trafalgar. No one knows where that is.
It's basically Greenwood, but just where the rich people go apparently, and Zeb.
So it's so it's the suburb of Greenwood, which is the suburb of Indy.
Yeah, technically, all the addresses are Greenwood addresses or whatever, but it's just got a different zip. So.
Gotcha. I mean, it's like the suburb, the smaller areas here in Indy. I mean, you have Castleton, which is
100.
Oh yeah, you have all the districts. You have where Avery. You guys saw Avery in episode 1. Avery was living in Rocky Ripple, which is like its own little community. Kind of like Salem.
Yeah.
It's like he called it the Canton the Canton of Indianapolis.
Oh. Yeah.
And he was, it has its own little community, has its own little town hall, but by technicality it still has an Indianapolis address. So there's a lot of those in these high population areas. It's not just one metropolitan. Yeah. Just because there's not just one metropolitan area. So what you guys want to talk about? You guys are my guests. The thing that I always stress with my guests is that it's your show. You guys get to talk what you want to talk about. I'm not going to sit here and just berate you with let's talk politics. Let's talk about your favorite shoes. Let's let you guys dictate what we talk about.
After birth and pregnancy. I don't know.
Please no. Whoa.
That was a joke. I was saying using that as an example, but Kyle's been really excited to talk about French fries for 4 days.
French fries,
man. Yeah.
So I had a list of top things that we could talk about and send to you guys, and for some reason, I guess that what you wanted to.
Yeah.
Is that the one that Kyle wanted to talk about was a discussion of French fries?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we even discussed it on the way up here.
I do want to hear what you guys discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our top 5?
Top 5, ones that really stuck out as good, ones that really stuck out as bad. You guys dictate where we go with this.
Alright, well, I will start with the prerequisite that I don't get french fries very often because I'm not...
Really?
I try not to eat fast food a lot, and that's like where most french fries are. And whenever I go to a sit-down restaurant, I normally get a baked potato, so...
Pause. We're going to do a quick adaptation. Scoot towards the middle.
What?
That way the guests are looking in the same direction. I'm not having to look back and forth.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, you usually get...
Yeah, I don't normally get french fries. I normally get a baked potato instead.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, they're too greasy for me, I guess.
Gotcha.
But I have come up with 5, so...
You've come up with 5.
Yeah.
Kyle, as the excitement shows, that he's ready to discuss in full force his best french fries, his worst french fries. I do want to... Let's hear... I do want to hear your individual list and why you think they're good.
Alright, so first of all, my favorite is Steak and Shake fries.
Ooh.
They're so little, and they're so crispy, they're so little, and you just smother them with ketchup and everything else, you just put them all in your mouth at the same time.
So it's like, it's not the enjoying individual ones, it's enjoying the lump sum of french fries.
Yes,
He's a speed eater, obviously.
As you know me,
as we all
I
know,
swallow my food whole, pretty much.
I think the thing that one of the things that makes me really think of you was in high school when we had to take that calorie counter per day.
Oh
and
my gosh!
You intook like
it was 11,000.
11,000 calories a day.
That's pretty close to what mine was in
Yeah.
high school, too.
It's scary. Like,
and the sodium intake was ungodly.
Oh, I had like 40,000 milligrams or something. Like it was enough to like stop your heart or something. Like
that's ridiculous.
My health teacher at the time, she looked at me and she asked me, she's like, "How are you still alive right now?"
But I think that's also just like with the times of us being, younger kids, really have to have that like intake to really grow. And you were growing a lot still at the time.
Yeah, that, and I was always active. I was playing every single sport out there.
Mm-hmm.
So my body needed
Were you a
it.
3-season sport?
5.
You played 5 sports, but you played during 3 seasons, like
Yeah.
fall.
I didn't get a break.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
I did like 5 sports a year.
and then we played summer league basketball. So
Yeah.
you were technically a 4-season athlete.
Just about.
So there's your number one, Zeb. Let's hear.
Like, are we doing like top, like overall? Because my top overall is technically a sweet potato fry from anywhere. Like, I love sweet potato fries. Like,
That.
they're actually fantastic.
What a pick.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
That's my number one.
Why sweet potato compared to just anything? Are you just a sweet potato guy?
I love sweet potatoes. Like, I'll admit that a lot of times, even though they are like healthy and more healthy than a like regular French fry, I do normally like go a little out and get some like cinnamon sugar dipping sauce or something. It's they're just good. And then like if I'm just having like a snack, I would rather have something that's like better for my body than like French fries because I just feel gross after I eat French fries. Like,
Yeah. I can understand that. I mean, that's just eating fast food in general sometimes.
yeah.
Me with getting old man stomach, or as I also call it, bubble gut. You know that feeling, you eat something way too greasy or you eat something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, like...
Yeah. I
Maybe
actually
then you
can't
just
eat
feel-
garlic at all. Like, we stopped at my favorite restaurant, Mother Bear's, yesterday. And,
Shout out to Mother Bear, probably the best restaurant in Bloomington.
yeah, I would say it's probably definitely the best. Like,
At least the best pizza place.
Yeah, best
Hands-
pizza place, obviously. You could debate a couple other places in Bloomington, but really Mother Bear's is what you go to Bloomington for if you're getting food.
The first time I went there, it was an hour wait, and it was just, I think it was just a random Saturday. But it was ridiculous.
Yeah, peak hours, you want to avoid it. Like, my sophomore year of high school, or not high school, college. Sorry. Same thing.
More or less. They all meld together at this age.
Every Friday, I ordered Mother Bear's pizza and would sit and, like, I ended up becoming, like, a connoisseur of werewolf movies. I've watched, like, every one that's been made since 1950, so...
Well, okay.
So that explains all the werewolf movies on my Netflix.
I mean, maybe. I've probably watched a couple of your house.
You have, because I didn't watch them.
Does that include the Twilight series?
I've watched those, but those were for different reasons. Like, I'm obviously like a hopeless romantic, so that's why. And I was also forced to go to them by ex-girlfriends. But we won't talk about that. So.
Sweet potato fries. Mine, I didn't. It was a hard choice. It's really. I'm gonna make a decision right now. The tried and true. The only thing I really enjoy from this restaurant is the McDonald's fries. I think McDonald's fries are a good choice compared to a lot of other places. I think other places, they're really kind of bland. And this is just fast food. I'm not, other good restaurants have great fries. But if I'm going to go fast food, I'm going to go the tried and true McDonald's.
I think that's fair.
That's a fair choice.
I'd never go to McDonald's.
And I don't either because I work there. After working there, you just lose all interest in everyone.
When did you work there?
I worked there summer of 2013. I worked at the one in Salem.
I had no idea.
I worked with Blake for a little bit. I worked with Keith Abel. Keith Abel and I quit on the same day.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Shout outs to Keith.
I can't believe I never saw you there. Like.
Yeah. Well, I worked the line, so I was always in the back. I never touched the cash. So, and it's after being around that environment, just McDonald's as a whole, as a work environment, is very frustrating. So I always just I avoid McDonald's unless I have to. And what I do, I only usually get French fries or hotcakes.
Yeah, I'll get like a quarter pounder with like no onion, no pickle, because their vegetables are like not real vegetables. They're like, I don't know.
They're fake vegetables.
I love quarter pounders. I just get like the plain quarter pounder, and I think that's like
you got to go the double. The double quarter pounder.
Double's too much for me. I'm a tiny man.
You're a grown boy.
And no, I'm not. I'm not growing. Statistically, I have not gained any weight since 13.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
I've been the same weight since we were in middle school.
I gained 40 pounds my freshman year of college.
Good Lord.
I was severely
the freshman
underweight.
40.
Yeah, I was severely underweight going into college though, and now I'm just not
average,
not anything.
I know, like since I've graduated high school, I've gained like almost 40 pounds, I think.
I mean, and I've tried. That's not to say I don't eat healthy all the time. So it's just an impossibility for me. I think it's also genetics, where like my mom. You guys know how big my mom is. You guys had my mom in second grade.
Yeah.
Flashback. I was telling someone that, and they're like, "Holy crap, you've known him that long?" I'm like, "Yeah, more or less."
Yeah. Me and him's known each other for too long. I've got to cut him out eventually, but I'll keep him around for now.
Number 2 on your list.
I'm gonna have to go with Burger King.
Burger King
fries.
Those almost made my list as worst.
What?
I hate Burger King
Oh
fries.
my gosh, they're so good. They're so big, and they're the crinkle cuts, right? That's what they call them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was only for a limited time. They're back to their old like straw gross.
Oh, say what?
Yeah.
Yeah, the crinkle cut were only limited time. So.
Oh, well, that's what I was talking about. Crinkle cuts.
So we'll go to that specific one.
That specific one. I don't think I've had the other kind of fries because I don't ever eat there that much.
They're horrible, and I think just Burger King as a whole is just that it's bad whenever you see their advertisements for 10 nuggets for $1.50. Like that's just
something's not right.
Something's not right.
It's like the Kmart versus Walmart when compared to McDonald's. Like, I mean, Kmart was cool and like that was it
for just a little bit of time. But nowadays, you don't even like. I never think of like going to get my groceries at Kmart.
Oh yeah, the one in Bloomington like isn't even allowed to sell video games anymore. Like I don't know if that's all of them. But
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend tell me that he went in whenever they like closed the video game department and they're selling them for like $6 a disc or something.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't
Why'd they
own a
stop doing
console,
it?
So
Yeah,
What?
Do you know why they stopped?
That you have to have like a license or something. Like I don't understand the like whole story behind it. He just told me what he knew. And
So crinkle cut Burger King fries.
Yes.
When do you guys do you remember the last time you had them? Because they bring things back. Burger King's one that really like lets things die out and then brings them back. They did it with chicken fries. Chicken fries are the best thing from Burger King in my opinion. But
Those are pretty good.
I have no idea when they would have like done this promotion.
The last time I saw them there was 2 years ago because I was with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that was the last time I remember seeing them there.
Yeah, I don't, because I think of their fries just not the best.
Yeah.
But we'll let Kyle's view on the crinkle cut fries stand.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Oh, my number 2, probably going to have to be Rally's fries.
Rally's fries are the jam.
Yeah, I really, really like Rally's fries because, like, not just because of the fry. He actually mentioned this about Chick-fil-A earlier, but, like, Rally's has fantastic cherry Coke. Like, I have no idea why, but, like, certain places have just, like, great cherry Coke, and, like, other places are, like, it just tastes like Coke. I don't know, cherry.
Or it just tastes like it's, like, not very good, just in general. Exactly. It's kind of bland.
Yeah. I think Rally still uses, like, the 90s logo for cherry Coke. Do you remember that? Like, the one that was, like, bubble letters, sort of?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
I think that's probably why it's just the logo.
You bring one up, and now I'm going to change my list on the fly because I didn't prep a list. Mine, McDonald's goes to number 2. Actually, it goes to number 3. Number 1 is now Chick-fil-A's fries. Chick-fil-A's fries are amazing.
Yeah.
Because I used to, there's a Chick-fil-A on IUPY's campus, and I ate Chick-fil-A 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
We
just ate there on our way here.
It's super solid.
The library I work at in Bloomington, last year specifically, I would eat Chick-fil-A 3 or 4 times a week just because it was in the basement of where I worked. So I would go there and, engorge because, I spend like $17 at Chick-fil-A because I don't know how to moderate. But
yeah, I think Chick-fil-A just as a whole, as a restaurant, is super good. I think they have great sandwiches, they have great fries, they've got
great service,
great nuggets. Their nuggets are amazing.
They got the best nuggets.
It's just like a miniature version of their chicken sandwich, which is super good.
And they got really good sauces there too.
Mm-hmm.
The honey mustard sauce, hands down one of the best.
So now I'm going to say my number 1 is the Chick-fil-A fries. Number 3 is McDonald's. And I'm only putting my number 2 on because of what you said about Rally fries. But it's not going to be my number 2. Okay. Your number 3.
My number 3, huh? Five Guys.
Five Guys. And I think I know why.
Because you get them in bulk, and you get them in a big greasy bag. Mm-hmm. And you could just...
The large is just a bag, like the size of this growler.
Yeah, pretty much. And a large, it'll fill like 2 or 3 people.
I know. There's been times when I've heard of people say, like, I went to go get a large fry, and they're like, do you know how big our large is? Yeah, I know how big your large is. Let me have a large fry. And they bring out that bag just full.
Mm-hmm. I normally
you can just see the grease running down from the outside of the bag.
Ooh,
yeah, so good.
Because it's in a brown paper sack, so you can really see that grease accented.
I think that's part of the reason why Five Guys is actually a good restaurant.
Because of
the way they package things. It's just in a brown bag, like it's like high school lunch. I never really took my lunch in high school, but I don't know. You see it on TV a lot where people
brown paper bag lunch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's it's good stuff. Also on top, it's quality and quantity. Mm-hmm. Usually you have like one over the other. You talked about Steak and Shake fries, and that was quantity. It's you put them at quality because you're number 1, but you still had a huge number of them because they're the little.
They're
tiny
really
ones.
little, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Five Guys is just one of the top fast food restaurants, period. But it also has a large number of fries because that's just what they do, and their burgers are pretty big too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3.
My number 3 is actually Chick-fil-A. So I'm right there with you. Though today, whenever I got them, they were like really, really salty, so I was not completely in love with them like I normally am. But yeah, Chick-fil-A's fries are.
They're also unique because you can't get waffle fries at very many places.
Yeah,
most of the time they're just the straight cut fries. You get a few crinkle cut at. What do I think of crinkle cut fries? Really, there's a few restaurants that have good crinkle cut fries. You mentioned Burger King. I'm trying to think. I think there's one restaurant. Oh,
White Castle.
White Castle's the other place that has crinkle cut. And their fries aren't too bad.
I like their fries from White Castle.
Shout out.
Those will probably be on his list.
Props to Avery for saying the tried and true formula: you can never have enough salt.
True.
Or pepper. He would coat things in pepper like a quarter bottle of pepper.
Oh, that's a little too much pepper there.
You would think,
but salt, you can never have too much salt on.
Yeah, as says the guy who intakes like
11,000 milligrams or something.
No,
or
something.
it was like 40,000 or something like that.
You guys both intake 80,000
and that was a week.
Yeah.
A week's time.
It was actually ridiculous because me and him both we weren't in the same class when we hadn't talked a lot, and then we were talking about it, and we were like, wait, mine's like the same thing. Like it was.
They were almost
funny.
Identical.
Maybe it's because you guys were hanging out so much, you were just at each other's houses sharing the same meals.
Maybe.
And I think that that time specifically, we were sort of not talking much.
Oh,
we talked a lot still in high school, but we went through a couple breakups. So.
Yeah.
the bromance took its breaks.
But what killed me on the sodium was ramen noodle soup.
Yeah, that was exactly
because I would eat that at least two of them a day.
Oh wow,
they're over 500 milligrams of sodium.
See, and that's usually the college kids' formula of getting through college is just eating ramen noodles or ramen noodles.
19.6 a little bag.
Yeah, I have a box of them that my aunt bought for me for $2, and it was a box.
There you go.
Of 10 of them.
All you need is a bowl. You don't really even need a bowl, but you just need water, heat it up, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually have a pack of ramen noodles from my freshman year of college that I've never eaten. They've just sat in the cabinet.
You should eat them one day. After you graduate, you need to eat them.
No.
Yes.
They're probably rubber at this point, but
it's better than eating them raw.
That's fair.
Unless you can cook it.
I don't know. I like to be able to
Just don't put Heineken in it.
He's tried that.
You've tried it. I do want to hear this. How bad was it?
It was terrible. I lost my flavoring packet for them, and I was like, I can't just eat these just straight, just warmed up noodles. So I just had a little bottle of Heineken with me. I'm like, I'll just pour a little bit in there, maybe. Yeah, maybe it'll be good. Well, I didn't really taste it at first. I'm like, I'll just pour a little bit more in there. I ruined them. They were disgusting.
So the flavor
butter.
was.
That's all you have to do.
Butter?
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. I make poor man's ramen, which is spaghetti noodles, and you drain the water, and you put butter and salt and pepper.
Why didn't I think of that? I don't know. Maybe because I was drinking a little bit already.
Yeah. Well, I'll just let the booze decide what I'm going to do.
And the funny thing was, my flavor packet was in my pocket.
That sounds like something that would just describe any of our friends. Is just something dumb.
Yeah, pretty much.
Props to Wells. That's a Wells lifestyle. Is just how he. I don't even know how to describe it. Just like Wells. Wells is just.
Wells.
He's Wellsy.
Well, he's Wells.
He's Wellsy.
you folks at home will see Wells in the season finale. So 5 weeks from now,
oh man,
you'll be seeing
that's exciting.
Wells,
I can't wait
Caleb,
to see
and
that.
maybe Gunnar Kennedy.
Oh,
I know.
I haven't talked to Gunnar in probably 2 years since he came over for that one game. I can't remember the name of it.
Which one?
Where we write things on paper and then say them.
A little bit of dill.
A little bit of dill.
We don't talk about a little bit of dill.
We don't. Yeah.
My number 2, because I've already given my number 3, Arby's fries.
Oh, the curly fries.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty good.
I was not going to include them because those are technically not French fries.
How are they not French fries?
Because French fries are
French. These are curly?
Yeah, no, because they have the sauce. They come out a reddish, and they're not sweet potatoes. Whereas they're seasoned. Whereas French fries are not seasoned for the most part.
Rally's fries are seasoned fries too, though.
But I don't consider those French fries either.
Oh, so that's why you added Arby's.
That's why I got Arby's on the list. Otherwise,
okay.
They would have not have counted, and I would be.
Yeah, if we didn't count those, I would only be able to name 3 fries. So I'd have to choose Taco Bell fries,
Which don't exist.
Exactly.
Well, cinnamon twist, they're kinda.
That's not a potato.
I know, but
potato chips. They do have chips,
but they also have they have, or they used to have, because my favorite thing to get from there was the crispy potato soft taco.
Oh.
They had like potato tacos and potato burritos.
The cheesy potato burrito is like top 5 like Taco Bell menu items, like still.
I always used to get I get a soft taco and a crispy potato soft taco with no Baja sauce.
But spoiler alert, number 4 for me was actually it's supposed to be Arby's, so wow, that's like 2 in a row that we've shared, so.
Well, it's also a limited list because fast food restaurants is limited, and the number that sell fries is even more limited.
Yeah.
Because, like, no offense, but, well, you can't get french fries at KFC. They have mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, green beans, baked beans.
It's more of a country
slaw.
It's
pretty Kentucky.
Pretty Kentucky. Popeyes. They'll definitely make. Now I realize they'll make my list. Anyway, number 4 for Kyle.
Number 4. All right, here's another specific one now. Wendy's ghost pepper fries.
Ooh,
those are good.
But we couldn't get ghost pepper cheese on our pizza yesterday, so what gives?
At Mother Bear?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like too spicy.
We had banana peppers on it, like.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
Yeah. Sweet more than it's spicy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just becoming.
Don't say it. But the ghost pepper fries from Wendy's. They are. I don't know. They have really good flavor. They're really spicy too, and they're just like covered in cheese. And once again, I could just take my fork and just get a whole mouthful of them every time.
I like that. I've never actually had them.
Do you like spicy foods?
Not a ton because old man stomach.
Okay.
Bubble gut gets me hard.
I'd stay away from. Have you had their Baconator fries?
That does sound amazing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a limit. Like they come and go every now, but it's just a bunch of fries covered in cheese and bacon, pretty much.
All this talk about food's making my stomach churn a little bit from being pretty full right now.
Mm-hmm. Like, the only thing I ever get at Wendy's is the 4 for $4. The most amazing deal of all time. Junior bacon cheeseburger, 4-piece nugget, small fry, drink. $4.
My favorite thing about the 4 for $4 from Wendy's was when they revealed it on Twitter, Burger King was like 5 for 5, like 5 for 4 because 5 is better than 4.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody tweeted at Wendy's and was like, "What are you gonna do in response?" And then Wendy's said, "Make edible food."
Ooh!
And I was like, that was the sickest burn I've ever seen in my life. Thank you.
Some fast food restaurants have a super good Twitter game or social media game.
Little known fact: in 2006, the Patriots had a wide receiver who was the son of the Wendy's guy. So Dave Thomas was his name as well.
So they just had Dave Thomas Jr.
Yep.
Huh.
Yo.
And they went to the NFC Championship game. So
did he play any?
Yeah, because our receiving course sucked there that year. It was Rashae Caldwell and Jabbar Gaffney. It was atrocious that season.
That's one thing that the Patriots have always been. Hate to shift it to sports, but the Patriots have never been had those high caliber receivers.
Minus Moss and Welker would be the two that I say are high quality. I think Troy Brown or Deion Branch. Deion Branch obviously didn't do well in Seattle, but I don't think Troy Brown would have done great anywhere either. So.
Yeah. Number 4, you've already revealed.
It was going to be Arby's, but I'll say that's number 5 just so that we can fill in, and I will on the spot because I was going to use 5 Guys, and I don't really want to repeat another one. Like, you guys have already covered all my bases, so I actually don't know any other fry places, so I just realized that. So
were you going to think of one on the spot?
Yeah, and then I realized that the only other ones that I know are McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and I don't like any of their fries, so
maybe there's a problem with this list as a whole, as this topic. Yeah. We've all loved fries, but there's so few to choose from.
Yeah, I think that it's more ordered than anything. So, we're going to have, 5, all of us, but they're going to be very similar.
Yeah.
Except for him, because he's,
Kyle's like, I've been to so many fast food restaurants. I'm gonna put my bullseye on it. I'm gonna, pinpoint on it. Ghost pepper fries.
He's actually talked about French fries for like 4 days. So
because he's been so excited to reveal his list.
So excited.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about this for like a week now.
I can see him like just going home and like making drafts. No, ripping it up.
Pros and cons of every single one of them that I know.
Please give me the.
Oh wait, I have one that's sort of a fry, but not really a fry. Potato wedges.
Kentucky KFC does have.
They do have potato wedges.
They have potato wedges, and their wedges are super good.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Potato wedges will be my 4, and Arby's and Five Guys will be 5 since they've already been mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, I've provided more content than just repeating other people's.
I like that.
So.
I do love potato wedges. I haven't had a good. Well, you know where my favorite potato wedges are from? JC.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking
they have some
of.
pretty good potato wedges.
Yeah.
They really do. They have. I've been eating JC potato wedges for I don't know how long. Probably.
Oh, whenever I
15
They have
years.
chicken wings there too.
And they like. I like their just chicken tenders, everything there.
Have you ever got their popcorn chicken?
Oh my gosh,
I
so
haven't.
good.
I worked there for 4 years, so
yeah.
in that time frame, I had so much popcorn, chicken, and potato wedges. Like the only thing I ate more than those 2 things was probably Snickers bars.
Ramen noodles.
So, I like ramen noodles, but I burnt myself out like freshman year of college.
Oh yeah.
It was like literally every
How-
day.
Question for both of you guys, especially Mr. England, who is a food connoisseur, as we've slowly seen across this however long we've already been filming. How long does it take for food to get burned out for you?
Oh, it's kind of a tough question. For me, it'd probably be like, I mean, it kind of depends on like how often I eat the food.
Mm-hmm.
Like Taco Bell, for instance. Whenever I was going to IUS, whenever I was going to IUS, I was commuting back and forth. I was on this like Taco Bell kick. I'd always go there for lunch like 2 or 3 times a week. And then all of a sudden, like I didn't go to a Taco Bell for 6 months just because I'd gotten burnt out on it.
Yeah.
So, I guess it just kind of depends on how much you eat of that food before you get burnt out on it.
Do you think you can get burnt out and then recover from it? Because I find myself like if you get burnt out on something, I can't even go back to it without like second guessing myself.
I think you can. I think you can recover from it because that Taco Bell that I went to, it actually gave me food poisoning for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
And that's one of like the major reason why I didn't eat Taco Bell for 6 months.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just had Taco Bell just the other day, so. So I think you can recover from it.
Yeah.
You just got to give it time.
I think that you can recover from it, but I also think that like you're never going to have that same feeling about something if you have it like all the time, because Taco Bell is one of those for me, because Cameron and that Italian girl
What?
I don't want to say her name because
Oh, okay, yeah.
but like both of them like always wanted to go to Taco Bell all the time, so like I went to Taco Bell like every day because I would hang out with Cameron at night and we'd go to Taco Bell like 1 a.m. and then like she'd want to go at noon, sometimes again at 6, like. So I eat Taco Bell a lot, and it got pretty burnt out on it. But now, like the only time I ever go is whenever I'm in Salem. Like I pretty much only go with him.
Only go with Kyle.
Like, yeah. So, I can eat it now.
Interesting question also for Kyle. With you living in Salem and there only being, 5 or 6 different fast food restaurant choices, how have you restrained from getting burned out on all your favorite fast food restaurants or restaurants in general?
I just go to one every other day. Like, hit McDonald's one day, and Taco Bell, then Wendy's.
So you've got a routine.
And we've got a few other things there. We have, like, Dairy Queen. We have Subway, which isn't really fast food. We have a KFC, and then we have a Cheddar Depot, which I just want to point out, Cheddar Depot's fries, number 5 for me.
Whoa! Yo! What a transition! I never saw that coming.
That was so smooth.
That was the
like I feel like MJ just possessed his body and struck us so hard right there.
That was the smoothest thing Kyle's ever done. Shout out to all the ladies that Kyle has ever been wooed by. You just got bypassed by Cheddar Depot fries. How describe them? I didn't.
You've never had them?
No. The only thing I did at Cheddar Depot was shout outs to Cody Brown because we would always skip out on 7th hour, leave the school, and go get Pepsi Mountain Dew mixed slushies from Cheddar Depot. We got those every week, at least once.
But you never had their fries?
Never had their fries, and I'll be down there in a few weeks, so definitely gonna make a stop because I want to experience them.
All right. They're kind of like a mixture between White Castle and Five Guys because they give it to you in the big brown paper bag, and there's a lot of them, and then they're like the crinkle cuts from like White Castle.
Okay.
So I mean, you just get a lot of them. They're really crispy. They're the crinkle cuts, which I like. They're just really good.
That's impressive. I never expected a local Salem restaurant to make the list.
Yeah.
That's the first topic of the first ride along. If you haven't checked it out, you should check that out.
I just need Zeb on every episode to plug all my stuff. Considering he is one of the mods, one of the guys who will be in chat in this.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be there to.
You haven't missed an episode so far.
I haven't. Actually.
Shout outs to Zeb in chat. Oh god, that's gonna be weird. Me yelling shout outs to you in the chat.
Yeah, I said, hey, what's up to myself. That's like Zeb's.
Yo!
Oh gosh.
It's Inception.
God, we're so morons. We're a bunch of morons.
I figured this would eventually deteriorate into us laughing a lot, so.
That's all.
That's fine with me.
Yep, that's fine. Number 5 for Zeb.
I
Yeah, it's
tie
right.
between Arby's and Five Guys.
My next one was going to be Wendy's because I love 4 for 4. Shout outs to the 4 for 4. Was that my number 4? No. Different beer. I had a different beer.
I was gonna mix it for you.
No! I had the other one.
Alright, it was a good thing we had these here.
Yeah. Shout outs to paper towels.
Planning ahead.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Planning ahead. We needed
Shout out
that.
to Bounty.
I don't remember if it was my 4 or 5, so my apologies to you guys at home. But let's see.
We've talked a lot about fries. So.
My since Zev did it because potato wedges are not French fries, I'm going to put at number 5 hash browns.
Alright, that's fair.
Especially whenever you go to a sit-down restaurant, because Kyle...
Waffle House.
Waffle House hash browns are so good.
You can put anything you want in
Yeah,
pretty much.
you can literally put the kitchen sink on it. Like, I'm pretty sure that's on the menu.
It
like,
is.
kitchen sink.
I had a friend who would always get the kitchen sink, and because they had a whole entire menu just dedicated towards
Like French fries. Or hash
browns.
Well, I see, even right there,
Same
I
thing.
thought it was French fries.
Yeah.
But,
but like different things you can get in them, load them, and then like the kitchen sink is everything.
yeah.
I always put jalapenos, mushrooms, cheese and onions on mine.
Kyle is such a food connoisseur.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
have
love
no
food.
idea. Like, that's like the only thing he talks about is food. So,
Yeah. Most of the time.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Alright.
Top 3 favorite restaurants, not fast food.
Non-fast food?
Non-fast
favorite
food.
restaurants.
Mhm.
Alright.
I just threw you under the bus. Let's
Alright,
see it,
Okay. Let's see here.
Mr. Connoisseur. I'm interested.
Okay, let me just think here for a second. I really like cheddars.
Cheddar's fries, okay, or cheddars.
Just cheddars.
Are
Are we doing? Are we doing fries?
No, we're
Okay.
doing the restaurants. I was so caught up in the fries. I
Okay.
forgot.
I was like, I don't think I've ever had
We
their
talked
fries.
potatoes for like 20 minutes
Yeah.
somehow.
Okay, but cheddars. I usually go to the one down in Clarksville. They did I don't know, just their food. Their prices are very reasonable, and they have everything there. If you want, like, they have steaks, they have hamburgers, they got fish. I usually get the tilapia, broccoli and cheese, and then usually something else.
Tilapia is so good.
Tilapia is a very good fish.
The last time I went to Cheddar's, as he's been referenced in one other episode, I saw Mr. Teacup Trevor Cup. That was
What?
the last time I went to Cheddar's. I ran into Trevor.
Oh wow! I haven't seen him since like
senior
graduation.
Yeah, that would have been the last time I saw him.
All right.
Number 2, favorite restaurant.
Number 2. Oh gosh. All right. Clarksville Seafood.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Is it a? That's what it's called.
It's
Yeah.
called Clarksville Seafood. It's a little blue shack.
Where's it at?
It's in the old part.
Dude, what part of Clarksville?
It's like the old part over there. You know where the new Asylum Extreme is, and where they moved over there. You know where the school's at.
Yeah.
It's over there on that strip.
It's over there by like where Value City.
Yeah, it's actually like right in front of Value City. It's a little blue shack.
Gotcha.
Their hours are really weird. They're like 11 to like 5 sometimes, and then they reopen or something. It's like really weird. But they have the best fish I've ever eaten around here.
You can attest.
I can like agree with that. Like, whenever he told me he went there a lot, I was so excited because I was like, we have to go there. Like, I think we've been there like 2 or 3 times, just me and him. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's so simple there. You say you want like a fish dinner, clam dinner, oyster dinner,
A fish
scallops.
You forgot the fish, but
That's the first. Oh, fish.
You actually forgot the
Okay,
fish.
fish dinner, of course, and then they have a few other things.
I think they might have a chicken or something.
They might have chicken. They might have a hamburger there. I don't know. I just get the fish.
Yeah, the fish is phenomenal. It's like white cod, and
it's fresh. Like they
It's
bring it on a
perfect.
truck like every week or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's one of my favorite places to go in Clarksville.
Makes me want to swing by there because in the last few years, I've really become a seafood guy.
yeah.
You'll like that
I eat
place.
salmon probably once a week because salmon is amazing.
I like salmon.
Really, there's not a bad seafood, like a bad
can't
particular
really think
kind,
of
because
anything. No.
I've made lobster and lobster's phenomenal.
Lobster's very
Mahi
good.
flanks are the greatest thing that's ever like been cooked. So.
Just mahi. Yeah, I've had mahi just so many times. Tilapia, I used to eat daily.
Snow crab legs.
And crab legs just in general are so good. Shane, if you ever do decide to watch an episode, Shane loves crab legs. Loves crab legs. So he'll.
I love crab too. So
Yeah.
Crab's so good.
Number 3. Moving on.
good segue.
I'm gonna have to say Tomo's.
Tomo's.
It's a Japanese sushi restaurant. It's right across the street from like the theater over there. Like you know where North Side is in New Albany.
Yeah.
It's like there's a little strip mall there, and that's where Tomo's is. And I just go in there and I order sushi, and that's all I get from there.
I want you to do me a favor. Some people at home, because I know a lot of people watching it from Salem, they're very against sushi because it's raw shrimp or it's raw food or raw fish. You know.
That's not always the case. I mean, you can get it deep fried if you want, and that just cooks the whole thing. Like they just take the whole thing, dunk it, and then they're like some of the
Fish
best
is
kind.
actually pre-cooked also, so it's not. It's a lot of times they boil it or something like that. They don't just feed you like
It's not just
fish
like
guts
raw.
like that. would be
Yeah, it's
really
not
disgusting.
Yeah.
I think it's cooked to like a certain degree.
Yeah,
but
they just do it to like
It's not-
kill the bacteria. And we should have Andy like confirm.
I was getting ready to ask
Yeah.
how is the sushi at the Zhang Palace?
it's gotten better.
He says that Andy told me that if he cooks it, he would eat it. If somebody else cooks it, he wouldn't eat it. So
Really?
make sure Andy's there. Ask him if he cooked the sushi. That's my advice for that.
And they've got some deep fried sushi there too, and then like some other stuff as well.
Because I like sushi and I've had it up here a few times. There's a restaurant that I actually do want to go to. 45 Degrees, half price sushi on Sundays.
We're going. Yeah. The only downside to sushi though is the price. It is pretty expensive. Whenever I go to Tomo's, one of my favorite rolls there is a volcano roll. It's baked fish, wrapped in like seaweed, the rice, and then a few vegetables and stuff, and then tempura flakes on top.
Okay.
And they set it on fire.
They said
It's actually
Yeah,
good. Like that's
they-
like we went one night and me, him, and Andy spent like $200+ on sushi. I had never had sushi before, and that was like one of the only 2 that I actually liked. So.
They put like this little, I don't know, they spray something in the bottom of it around it, and there's like a little salt everywhere, and they light it with a torch, and it just engulfed in flames. And whenever they set it to you, it's literally on fire, and you just have to wait till the flames go down, and then you can eat it.
Oh, that's cool. It makes me think of whenever you go to like a hibachi grill. Have you been to one?
I don't think so.
I've been to hibachi.
Where they take they'll take an onion, or something. It all depends on what your cook does, but he'll take an onion and he'll cut different circles in it, and then it'll stack like it's a volcano, and it'll pour whatever the sauce is that causes the fire, and then put the fire in it, and it'll like look like an actual volcano.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Hibachi's pretty cool.
Is that where they like cook in front of you?
Yeah, the table is set up like this. Everyone sits around it, and this, instead of it being glass, it would be like the grill.
Tomos has that. I never go to it though. I just get a regular table and
Yeah, hibachi's
get
good
sushi.
because it's more of a show.
yeah, you get entertained by it, and you get good food.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit more pricey because you're paying for the entertainment.
Yeah, the last time I went, I tipped like $10 because you're not paying for just the food. You're paying for him to have an interactive experience. You know, he was taking the eggs and juggling the eggs with his spatulas, and then was catching the eggs in his hat. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Yes, and then like he would play like almost like music with his spatulas against the different types.
Oh,
of
we'd have
metal.
like a beat going on.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it was cool because like it's like we had said, it's not just that the food is good. It's you're paying for the cool experience. What are you doing?
I was making faces at the camera.
Well, thanks. I was confused because you looked at me real weird.
I looked at you like I wasn't doing anything inappropriate. It wasn't inappropriate. It was standard weird Zeb faces. So.
You guys know Zeb. Zeb is a character.
His face is always weird though.
My girlfriend actually said you and I are quite similar.
We do have pretty
Yeah, I can see it.
personalities.
I can see
Really?
it, yeah.
I noticed it whenever we were talking to the guy out there that last
Oh
week.
my gosh!
Yeah.
So we had just got back from watching Warcraft the movie, which we both thoroughly
I thought it was
enjoyed.
phenomenal.
So we got back and we were sitting out in the car just talking back and forth, about life, about different things, basically what we do here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just tell Kyle because Kyle doesn't know the story, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't. I haven't told him.
So anyway, we're out there, and next thing you know, this guy comes up to us, and he lives in my apartment building, and not going to give the address, not going to name the apartment building, so I'm not throwing him under the bus. He goes, dude, guys, I love tripping. He had just got back from the bars, and he was pretty drunk, and he was like, I love tripping. I pop ecstasy and I pop acid, and then he was talking about how much he loves to smoke.
Yeah, he asked us if we wanted to share his blueberry Kush.
Ooh,
Blueberry mango.
Blueberry mango Kush.
Oh.
You know what Kush is?
No idea.
It's marijuana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They have so many words for that now.
yeah. You can call it many, many things. So anyway, he was like,
Did you?
no.
Oh.
No. And if we did, we wouldn't talk about it.
This is for children.
We both work with youth groups.
Yep.
I know.
Him and I. You know that. So anyway, yeah, the guys at home may not know. Anyway,
Maybe
so
they go to a black church. I don't know. And by black church, I mean satanic. So.
gotcha. I was kind of confused on what you
Yeah, I
meant.
realized that's like an ambiguous way to put something, so that's why I explained what I meant. So.
Anyway, so he was like, I had my door open because we were getting some breeze in the car, and he squatted right by where my door was.
He sat in his spit.
Yeah, I was spitting because I have a habit of spitting, and he sat right in my spit. I'm like, dude, you don't want to sit there. That's where my spit is. And he goes, it'll be all right.
Oh, okay.
He did make a good point. He's like, well, I didn't know that, and I've already sat down, so if I sat in it, I sat in it.
Good
Can't
point.
argue with that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
He's smart for a high guy.
whenever he was with us, what made you think like we had similar personalities?
because we were like, I realized that I don't really ever sit with somebody and just like laugh about everything. Like me and him will, you know, we joke around and stuff a lot, but we don't just sit around and laugh at pretty much the most nonsensical things ever. Like, not that we don't laugh at those things. It's just like we do that like 90% of the time we're together. It's just laugh, so which is good. So I think that's a great way to create a friendship is to laugh.
I know when I'm around you two, like 90% of the whole conversation is just I hear like you two laughing.
That's so true.
It really is.
Everyone at work like knows me for just being stupid and just like joking around at work all the time. And if I make myself laugh enough, I go, man, I'm funny all the time. Because sometimes there's times I'll put him on record. Shane like will tell a joke and he'll get ready to say it, and he will think he's so funny he can't even get the joke out because he's laughing at himself so hard.
I've heard him do that so many times.
It's so funny.
It really is, because he'll be like...
He'll start to say something and he'll die. And he'll be like, you know, Hank, and just like die in the corner. And he like can't breathe.
He like actually physically dies and we have to resuscitate him. It happened once in sophomore year? High school?
Was that the Alabama trip?
No. Shane, whenever he had the like seizure or whatever.
No, that was Caleb.
I thought Shane did too once.
I don't think Shane did.
It was somebody else.
Somebody
did
passed
too.
out, didn't they?
Caleb did because he was in health class, if I remember right. Caleb, another mod. So you can correct us in the chat. He was, I think, because Caleb, you know, he used to sit with his like this.
Oh yeah, is that why what happened?
I'm not sure why exactly, but he was sitting like that, and apparently he just like fell over out of his chair.
Yeah.
And they woke him back up. I can't remember what exactly the reason was, but
I could have swore Shane did something similar.
I thought it was Shane, but could it have been dehydration?
Yeah.
it might have been. You know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
'cause I think that's what I heard, but I don't know.
we'll see.
It's been a few.
We'll get some corrections or whatever.
Yeah. We'll have Caleb confirm or deny that. And
In the chat or in the comments. We'll definitely put it in the comments for you people on YouTube.
the YouTubers.
The YouTubers are in full force right now. Did you see?
Yeah, I saw that you posted 200 views
On my last episode in 2 days.
200 views.
Really?
200 views in 2 days.
That's
Yeah,
really impressive. Like,
That's awesome.
It shout outs to Bench. Bench was my last guest. We talked Melee for most of it. We talked geology because he's a geologist.
Okay.
So we talk rocks.
Talk rocks.
He has a tier list for rocks, and it was 110 long.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
Like a
That's-
tier, like you would do in like a card game or something,
Or a video game or
Okay.
something. Yeah, he ranked his rocks or his minerals.
His minerals.
Yeah, big difference because rocks are just minerals.
Well, you could argue that minerals are mostly just rocks.
Well,
I
that if Ben is in the chat, he'll know.
yeah,
He'll fight you.
You could argue that like a lot of minerals are rocks, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like, by definition.
By definition,
what we
yeah.
call a rock. I mean, I'm not gonna say all are because I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure anything that becomes a deposit of something would be labeled a rock eventually. So.
Mm-hmm.
Because Americans aren't smart.
Americans really aren't smart. I really think we're just defined by social media culture. Especially like, oh, I heard this through Facebook, or I heard this on Twitter, or I heard this through Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, Reddit's I think of Reddit a little bit more accreditable because you have moderators that actually like go through and filter out like what's true and what's false or what's
I
good
actually
and what's bad.
deleted another 60 people from Facebook this week, so I'm down to 230 now.
There you go.
So-
I unfollow people on Facebook because, you know, they may still want to see my stuff, and it's promotion for Buds Aplenty.
I agree with that, but I always end up seeing it somehow, and it like I just I try not to get into arguments with people. I end up doing it a lot because I'm a very opinionated person.
Yep.
But I try to be civil on the internet as much as possible. So
I actually used to go on days where I was like, man, I'm tired of people on Twitter, and I would just go through and block people. And I think I have almost more blocked people than I follow people.
I went through and unblocked most of the people that I had blocked, But at one point in time, like before I like got the 1,600 friend request back in like November of 2014, I had 2,500 friends last like June, like so.
Holy cow!
It was impossible to like actually enjoy Facebook because everybody was like, it was nonsense. Like I don't understand how people have that many friends. And
I just imagine Kyle just talking back and forth with Joe.
No, he doesn't really use it a whole lot.
I've talked to Joe on Facebook before.
You have? Oh.
I think he's just wished me happy birthday, but that's enough.
Yeah, he'll say happy birthday to people, but that's about it.
I just imagine him talking to us three, Joe, and Slappy.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Zhang. You got
and Jane.
The captain of the Zhang's palace. More or less, this has just been like a reminiscent like video episode where we just talk about you know, past memories.
But I think that's sort of how this has been a lot. Buds of Plenty has, and I think it's been pretty interesting to see like how people got into certain things. Like I liked listening to Avery talk about how he got into WoW and stuff. So
you also, you know, being a fellow WoW player, all three of us were at some point. Are you back into it?
I'm off and on it. Like it's
you've probably been.
I logged on like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, he logged in 2 months ago, and I carried him through a couple of LFRs.
And then that was the last time I played it.
Never logged in again.
So I had to resubmit my prescription, $15 a month for it, and then I played it that one day or whatever. Subscription, my bad.
There's a difference between a subscription and a prescription.
Yeah, subscription.
You don't need to take that to a pharmacy to get that.
Hey Kyle, was that description redundant?
Sure, why not? Anyway.
There's a sort of an inside joke with the word redundant. So if you hear him say that, it means unnecessary for him.
So Kyle doesn't basically know the definition of redundant?
I kind of know what it means.
He knows how to use it, but he doesn't like... I mean, I would have a hard time coming up with an actual definition for redundant myself, but...
I think if I were to define it, it'd be like repetitive. So like, if I were to describe that beer as brown, or as yellow, but I also described it as golden, that's almost redundant in a way, because it's just a repetitive...
Yeah, because like gold is like normally a yellow characteristic.
Yellow, all gold is yellow, but not all yellow is gold.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. But
yeah.
Once I got my subscription back on, I played it that one day. And he carried me through a few dungeons and raids, and that was about it. Mm-hmm. Then it's been like 2 months later, and I haven't logged on since.
And I have most of the time whenever I play WoW, I come back for a month, do some. Avery's always like, "Yeah, Dale, I need some help leveling a character up. You want to play? Yeah, sure. Let's do recruit a friend." And I start a new character. We recruit all the way to max level, and then I quit because it's been that month.
Okay. And you get one character to level 100 in a month,
or whatever. Usually I think the last time I did, I was 80. So I got to 80, and then he still had 10 more levels, so we had to go through the content and miss. Because with the recruiter friend, you didn't get the newest expansion.
Oh.
So I would just get through.
Well, now, with recruiter friend, you do get up to Warlords, so it's like current, but Legion comes out in 2 months, so...
Is it that soon?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. The pre-patch is the 19th of July. I don't know if that's officially announced yet or not, because like I have grapevine through people I know, so I don't know if that's officially announced yet or not. But
I actually thought pre-patch was out, but it's beta, right?
Yeah, beta, and the PTR was just released this past week. So.
I've heard some news on like what classes are broken, which classes are good.
Right now, apparently every tank is like way too OP, like from what I've heard.
I heard prop paladins were really good.
Prop paladin and bear. Bear is like actually like next level god tier at this point in time, which is great because I main druid for like 5 years. Yeah. So like to me that's pretty cool, but like I got bored of tanking this expansion because tanking became like I put up like top 10 parses and stuff like that as a tank, and that's not really that fun. Like at that point in time you're just like, this is boring. I'm just using my CDs at the right time. Like, oh well. Yeah, I want to quit WoW. Like that's
You really do?
I really want to quit, but I want to like I've already paid for Legion, so I want to play at least at least do the raid content for Legion, and then I'm probably done after that. So.
Gonna dip out.
You know.
So we let Kyle geek out on food. I put him on the spot on his top 3 restaurants. What do you want to talk about, Zeb? Bring us something universal to the table, because you talk about parses, you talk about rating, and that's foreign to me. I only know about it.
Something universal that like I know like really get into would probably be music. Like
Okay.
Like most people that know me know I play guitar, because that's like one of the reasons why a lot of people actually know me is because I play guitar. So
And we all 3 have different tastes. I mean, you're more of a rock, heavy metal.
Yeah.
You're more of...
I like everything.
You like everything.
I like rock, I like country, I like the hip hop.
But I also think, like, whenever I think of Kyle's music, I kind of think of you as more of a country guy compared to us two.
compared to us two, very.
Yes.
And then
very
I'm more
much so.
hip hop than both of you two,
Yeah.
like quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, hip hop wise, like the only bands that are semi hip hop or like music that I listen to that's semi hip hop would be like Hollywood Undead and Eminem. Like, I don't really listen to it. Now I'll listen to like older stuff like Tupac and like
Biggie.
the NWA, like that whole time frame. But
So the early 80s, 90s
Yeah.
stuff. Or late 80s, early
Yeah.
90s.
But other than that, not too much into hip hop. If you're gonna talk rock music,
You can go for
like,
hours.
yeah, I have a minor in classical guitar, so like if you want to talk
Well,
like
okay.
guitars, like pretty interested in that kind of stuff. So.
So where do you want to go with music? There's so much that we could talk, because Avery and I talked music in episode 1. We
Yeah.
talked about accessibility. We talked about certain artists, and Avery and I have very similar music, but distinct in our own genre.
Yeah, I could definitely I could go on and on like ad nauseum on like how poor the music industry is now. Like not just on like a talent scale, but on like you don't get paid to play music now. Like not something that I normally broadcast a lot, other than like people that I know or like minor explanations. But I was signed to a record label for a year and a half. And during that time, I made like $12,000 off of it, and like there was a CD release in that time. Like I wasn't the primary artist, so like I understand not getting paid that much, but that was 6 months of work that I got paid $12,000 for, which in the music industry, like that's pretty good for like just starting out, I guess. But that was it. Like that was the ceiling that I was gonna get. I got kind of lucky for that much. So. I could go on about the politics behind music.
Which makes me want to ask, Kyle, do you enjoy today's music? Or do you find yourself listening to stuff of old?
I like a little bit of some of today's music, but I still find myself listening to like older music. So.
Yeah, especially with country. Like today's country, in my opinion, you get so many like so much bro country, which is like it's very similar to hip hop, where you talk about drinking beer.
Yeah.
You talk about the girls you think are good looking, and the vehicle you're driving, which in country sense is the truck.
Which I like. I in a G-rated manner. Whenever I see somebody drive a truck, I feel like that's compensation. Like I've just been taught that in my brain. So whenever I hear somebody bragging about driving a truck to me, it's like, why are you bragging about that? Like, and I'm not saying that to be offensive. I'm sure that some people are fine that drive
Usually,
a truck,
you think of a truck driver as someone that's using it for work.
Yeah,
You would haul things around.
exactly.
You're not using it for.
Or if they're like pulling a camper or a boat or something.
Yeah, that's why my grandparents have a really big truck, because they go camping all the time. So of course, it makes sense. You and Joe have, do you still have your guys' camper?
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's got a truck and he pulls it with it.
Exactly. So it makes sense. It's a utility thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like having one where it's just like your daily driver isn't the most. I'm not gonna, talk down on them, but it doesn't seem like it's the most logical.
Yeah, poor on gas mileage and like there's just a lot of things. Just not like why drive a truck for your daily commute? Like, I understand if you like live close to work or something like that, or if you're not going to drive it all the time. But
I know, like some people with trucks, they usually have the toolbox in the back and stuff, so that they keep some of their most like expensive tools like in their truck with them at all times.
Yeah,
and they just lock it up with them, and in case they're ever like, they'll always have it with them in case they need it for something.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
I carry my tools, and I drive a Honda.
I mean, whatever works, I guess.
Yeah,
Kyle's a Jeep man.
he's a Jeep man.
Yep.
I love the Jeep. There's been times when we would go to Scottsburg Walmart to get cards.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, man.
How about that?
We can't really talk about it because we're so far behind in the meta.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
we could talk about.
we could definitely talk about like that 2010 sweet spot of meta where Yu-Gi-Oh was actually at that time the most popular card game in the world.
And it was so much fun.
Oh, it was an actual blast.
Because we had, big props to Gunnar and Shane and Blake for bringing Yu-Gi-Oh back into Salem, in my opinion. I remember them starting to play it, and then everyone else started to play it as well.
Did they ever stop playing it?
Yeah, they don't play now.
Yeah, no, but like before though, whenever they started bringing it all back.
I think they brought it back just like because they didn't really competitively do it. Gunnar and Shane had big.
I remember that for sure. Yeah, I know that we stopped playing it, but it was more of just we didn't buy new cards. We would like pull them out every once in a while, and you'd play still, like very, very casually. Like we definitely didn't play, and then I don't even know what happened, but like that influx of people playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards senior year was ridiculous.
Everyone played.
We all went into the library and played it, like at school.
We played in the school. We played in
Carter. Did we play it in Carter's?
We played in Carter's all the time, and I actually made a joke around Avery. I was helping him pack, and I picked up his cards and put them over my shoulder to move them because he has them still in a massive duffel bag. And Anna, his girlfriend, goes, "Are you giving those to Dylan?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "Hell no, he's not giving these to me. The day I get them is the day he's dead, and I get him in his will. But really, they'll probably go to Zeb because Zeb was better than me."
That's good.
Because Avery had so many cards. Avery was one of those that really took it to he was one of the first to really take it to the next level. Him and you both.
Me and Avery was the only person that could reliably beat me. That's like everybody else. Like I'd beat him with like 100 attack monsters just for BM. So
You don't have to go into detail.
and a lot of people were play different styles. A lot of people.
Everybody had their different styles and play their different decks that they liked.
That was why Avery beat me, because I played fast and furious, and he had a gladiator control deck, and
which he sold to Andy for like $400.
Oh wow, I didn't know
400.
That doesn't surprise
3
me.
to 4. I remember it being over 200.
I remember. I actually made a lot of money off Yu-Gi-Oh.
I know you did, yeah.
Towards the end of Yu-Gi-Oh, like whenever everybody started phasing out, I started buying people's cards off of them and selling them on eBay for twice as much as I was paying for them. So it was a little bit con artisty, but I mean, like they wanted $5 out of an ultra rare that I could get 40 out of. So yeah, I would do that a lot. So
it was fun though. I mean, I felt like it was one of those community bonding experiences where people would they'd have their certain cards, and you trade with them and be like, "It was nice doing, business with you." But it was more than that, because I've only been to Andy's house one time, and that was to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And that was back whenever his parents were like, "No Yu-Gi-Oh in the house," so we had to only come certain times.
We used to do it every Tuesday. We used to do it every Tuesday. He's my neighbor, and he would just send me a text like, "Hey, come on over if you want." Like, I guess his parents were gone or something. We all went in there, and it was like every Tuesday we'd all go in there and just play for like 3 or 4 hours, just dueling, trading, and all that stuff.
And then his family would get. He knew his family was close, and we'd have to dip out.
Yep.
I remember that. And so you had we'd also go to, let's see, who else's houses. We played
a lot of people. I know I went to Avery's a lot, and he came to my house a lot during that time frame.
I went to Shane, Avery, and we went to Shane's almost every day after school.
Oh, do you remember the man thing that we did at Anthony's house? I
I wasn't there.
Oh, you didn't go to it?
No, I did not go to that.
what?
The man cave.
Yeah, the man cave.
Oh,
party
the
that
big
we
party, yeah. It was like just a big all around party.
There
right?
was like an entire room that was like 15 people were playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
It was more like a big closet.
it was
yeah.
pretty fun, like actually. So.
There was one guy playing Halo in the bathroom. At the party. And then
Who was it?
I can't remember his name.
I don't.
He set up his TV right on the sink in there, and he's sitting on the toilet, and he's playing Halo right there in the bathroom. And then me, him, and a few other guys we're dueling and stuff in the next room, and playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And whenever somebody would go in there, he'd just sit there and play Halo. Like, okay.
Speaking of parties at people's houses, do you remember when we had to camp out at my grandma's, and you and Shane beat through the fire and flames?
Yep.
Because he would do the intro and Shane would do the rest.
And you guys told me that you beat it, and I was like, "How did you beat it?" Like, I haven't even beat that yet. Like, and I know I'm better than you guys.
Yeah,
at this game.
because they did.
I was only good at the beginning, which is like for most people, that's the hardest part for them. I struggled with the all the long solos and stuff because I get farther and farther behind, and then eventually I couldn't keep up.
Whereas
with
Shane could do the rest of it.
Yes.
So you guys did like a conjoined.
Yep.
Let's do you beat
I
the
was
beginning
the
and
first
Shane beat the
person in
rest.
Salem to beat it naturally, though.
As soon as I got through the intro, I paused because there's like a slight pause in between before it starts again. I paused it and I handed Shane the controller, and then he finished the rest of it.
Which is still impressive because
and then you pause like right then and then hand it. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
yeah.
But Kyle's strumming technique on Guitar Hero was very, very unique, and that
flawless.
was probably the reason why he was better at that than most people.
How was it?
He downstrummed only.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would do up and down.
There were
Most
sometimes
of the
where
time
you
it was
almost
just
had
down.
to.
Yeah, the only times he would do it is on like a tremolo pick, which is like the 16th notes
So
and
like
32nd
in
notes.
triplets and things like that.
Yeah.
There were times when I would do triplet when it was triplets when you had to get that rhythm with the up down.
Yeah.
I do
I
remember
always
though.
did up and down just because I've played guitar for so long.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
So it
part
made
of my
sense to you.
technique, and it's probably why like I was better than most of the people that played. Like I think Shane was way better than me at what is that song? Number of the Beast. But like every other song, I was like 40,000 points better. But I don't know why I was bad at that song. But
Funny note, I actually beat what's the final song? Howl at the Moon.
Bark at the
Bark
Moon.
at the Moon. Thank you.
Oh,
I was the first one to. I beat it before Shane did, which is saying a lot.
Was that the first Guitar Hero?
Yeah, which is
I didn't play that
probably
one a
the
lot.
hardest one.
Oh, because like there's no hyperspeed. Like that. Was
No hyperspeed and the hammer-ons were much different.
Yeah,
because
it was the first game, so they were just trying to.
in the new
figure out how
ones
to
you
make
can
it.
actually just like let the top button go and then you could hit the hammer-ons. But for the old ones, you had to like hold the top note. So if you hit like green to yellow, you would still hold green to yellow. Correct?
Oh, is that? I did not realize that's why it would because I never figured out why it wouldn't work properly.
Because that's how hammer-ons work in actual guitar.
Yeah,
Hammer-ons and pull-offs.
Sort of.
Because you actually have to hold the first note and then pull it off, or if you're doing
pull-off,
pull-off,
a hammer-on, not necessarily, but
not necessarily. But if you wanted to still have that together sound,
you'll have an open sound in between. Like it might be brief, but it'll
and it can be super brief if your timing's great. But if you wanted to sound the best, you would go from like fret 1 straight to fret 3 if you wanted that to be a hammer-on.
Yeah.
So that
might be why, because I could beat any of the songs on there, but I couldn't figure out why hammer-ons were so bad in that game. But that actually might have been.
I just jumped through it.
That's what I did because they were just atrocious.
Shane would try hammer-ons and then just not be able to do it.
Yeah. Hammer-ons. The best game for hammer-ons though was Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
Really,
almost every song had a ton of them, and I learned how to tap pick on that. It's not really tap picking on,
but it's more or less.
If
you're to use a common term for non-Guitar Hero players,
tapping is what.
Tapping, yeah. That's what some people tried to do for certain. Did you try and tap for a little bit?
I may have tried it, but
where you brought your hand up. Yeah,
I would do it on Through the Fire and Flames. Okay, so there's two ways that I beat Through the Fire and Flames. One was just survive the intro and then get 3 or 4, a low 4 stars. whenever I was trying to get a 5-star on it finally, though, I had to learn how to tap pick because if you don't hit all the notes in the start, you're missing 40,000 points or something like that. That are actually really easy once you get tapping down. But
Yeah.
I remember I tried that, but I wasn't good at it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think your guys' we're talking about what's your favorite Guitar Heroes and what's your least favorite Guitar Heroes that you played?
okay, so
'Cause I know Shane for a long time fought with me and said that like one of his favorites was Rock the 80s.
Rock the 80s
Rock the 80s
is
good.
very good in my
There's a lot of
opinion.
good songs on that one.
Solo, I would go with Aerosmith.
Is the best.
For like the most fun to play, not necessarily the best music. Like I'm a big Aerosmith fan, but I'm not like saying it's the best music wise. But I would say playing single player, that's the most fun. Just because like I was talking about, there's a ton of hammer-ons and those are really fun to do. Now the most fun to play with like a group was Guitar Hero Metallica.
Because it was difficult. It was like World Tour, but it was more difficult.
Yeah, it was me and my nephew played the shit out of that. Like we actually played it. I don't know, probably 100 hours in like a week. Like the first week it was out, which it was nuts. And we got a bunch of gold stars and a couple million-point songs and stuff like that. And it was so much fun because me and him he played drums and I played guitar, like outside of Guitar Hero. So we're both really, really good at those two instruments on Guitar Hero. I think the only song that he couldn't beat on drums was Dyer's Eye or Dyer's Eve. I can't remember what it is.
I never played Metallica.
But the double bass pedal and it's like really fast. It's like just 100 notes in succession. Like so. That was the best one for multiplayer.
You guys would play that on the basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that
I
was
think I was your bass player on a few
Yeah,
times.
you would play bass with us because we wanted to get like more points. So Kyle would come over and he was really good at Guitar Hero too.
Yeah.
So
all three of us,
alright.
all three of us were pretty good.
Yeah,
We all could play on expert.
And all three, and I 5-starred nearly the entire.
I 5-starred every song on 3, 2. I don't know if I did 1 or not because
I 5-starred every song on 3 except for maybe 1. And then I 5-starred. I didn't have to, but I had World Tour and I 5-starred almost every song on
I
World Tour.
stopped before World Tour came, and then he got it, and I played it with him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then I didn't play 5 except for like when I'd come visit him. And then Warriors of Rock, I bought that.
God, I forget that was even a thing.
It was pretty good, but I don't know. 3 and 2 were definitely the glory days. Like
3 I think had the best gameplay in my opinion because it was forgiving on the hammer-ons. It was forgiving on most of the hammer-ons, but it also had it made the songs a little bit more difficult than what it would be actually playing. So it made it fun to play them.
Yeah.
And they had all the hyperspeed levels that you can go to. What was up to 10?
Yeah, and then 5.
Oh, 5.
Was that 3 that introduced that? I thought that
3 was the one.
3
Oh,
3
did
was
it
the
have
first one.
multiple?
2 had a hyperspeed, but it was only one level.
Oh, see, I couldn't remember because
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't. I used Hyperspeed 2 on 3.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But it was
sure.
hyperspeed 2 as well.
Because it was
Yeah.
oh boy was the code.
Yeah,
Orange-
I
orange,
think
blue.
everybody will always remember
Yeah,
that
blue,
for
blue.
their entire
Orange,
life.
blue, orange, yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you gave me a guitar right now, I could put it in
yeah.
because
That was like the sound that made it.
I can't remember which game it was. It might have been it was 3 where you actually had to play the notes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you actually had to strum to get the code to go in. But gameplay wise, I think 3 was bar none the best.
yeah.
3 was my favorite one as well. They also incorporated the whole whenever you battled against a friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget what
The
it was
battle
like.
mode.
Battle mode, whatever.
Pro face off.
Pro face off.
Well, Pro Face Off was in 2 because if you didn't
Oh, you mean actual battle?
Where you
mode.
had-
battling where you had the
where you had, like, a
flippy
broken
keys and
string.
all that broken strings.
That I forgot.
I forgot that was the thing
That's-
because that's what you had to do for the actual boss battles. Because
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
actually did beat the devil when you played the devil went down to Georgia.
Really?
I never did.
All you have to
He's
do
hard
for
on
that is
expert.
get 2 power-ups and just throw them out at the same time during one of his really fast parts and he loses.
Oh.
It's really, really
I
easy.
actually think
I never beat it on expert.
Thinking back to it, I may have actually beat it. I'm not 100% sure. I have my Wii, so if I had the game, I would be able to check it.
You could just do what I did and memorize your fretboard. or like the notes for every song on the game, and like you never had to worry about any kind of battle thing because you just knew everything. Didn't have to worry about lefty flip.
Well, except for if you like had the broken string where you had to tap the
well,
wheel.
that takes like 2 seconds for me. I would ignore it a lot unless I knew there was going to be a lot of like green notes or whatever.
That was the hard thing for me was like I would always just farm like the best. Like if I know I didn't get good power ups, or if I missed a note and didn't get the power up, I would just restart because you would have to. For me, it was always farming the best power ups towards like what he would get because he would get power ups too, and it would always be randomized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. Like I forgot about that. I
didn't like it in a 2-player sense though because I just like facing off against the other person in a test of skill. You know what I mean? In Face Off, where you're just like you're playing the exact same song. Face Off, you would play different difficulties. Different difficulties.
But, like what I hated about Face Off was that
it would have the gaps.
Yeah, and I couldn't keep the rhythm, and it's not fun to play whenever you sit there for like 30 seconds while the other person's like doing like some.
Or they have to be them, and then it'd be you, and then them.
It's almost like dueling guitars, where you guys are playing different parts.
Pro Face Off, where you just play it through the whole song.
Have you guys seen Scott Pilgrim, the movie?
No.
Well, there's a bass battle, so like one will play a bass part, and then the other will play a bass part, and then another, and back and forth. Yeah. So it's like that. That's what the Face Off was from Guitar Hero for the Face Off mode, but the Pro Face Off was you just played the same part.
Yeah. Pro Face Off, I loved it.
I think that's what everyone played once you got to a certain level.
Yeah, I think if you played on Expert, you wanted to play Pro Face Off because that's just how it worked.
Yeah, and you guys couldn't fail. There was no failing. You can just like
just try to see who gets more points on it, who can play the song better.
Yep. And a lot of it was knowing like when to activate star power because in 3 and before, once you activated star power, you couldn't get the star power notes. Because after that, like even in like Rock Band, you can you activate star power and you can get the star power again. So it was almost like I'll get star power, I'll activate it immediately.
Yep.
So it was super. It had strategy on top of that.
Oh yeah, like you had to get max. Like I actually had the 64th highest world score on overall for my entire set list on Guitar Hero 2. And in order to get to that point, I literally had to look up note charts and figure out when the star power came here. No, like, okay, I do it after 2 this time, and I do it at this bar on this note. Like, you had to know these things, like
because sometimes it was optimization, like when you would get a lot of notes in succession. So like the ones where they're like the up and downs, where it's just a line of them. That was worth more points.
Yeah,
because
more notes.
Yeah, more notes, and a lot of them were the 2 notes. And I think if I remember right, were the 2 notes worth more points?
Yes. So like the baseline for 1 note was 25, and 2 notes was 50, and 3 notes 75. Like played at the same time. And then your multiplier multiplied any of those. So, like, a good example of this would be, what's the name of the song? The Way It Ends by Prototype. It has, like, a bunch of, like, 3 notes where you, like, have to play 3 notes at the same time. So you save star power, and in order, like, you almost can't get 5 stars if you don't do this. You have to, like, save star power from that phrase, and you'll get 200,000 points in 30 seconds and only 150,000 for the entire rest of the song. But if you use star power throughout, you only make up like 75% of that or something like that. So it's a big like deal, like timing and stuff like that. And you had to like do it on exact notes sometimes, because if you didn't do it at this exact note, then you would miss like the first note of the next star power phase, and it was complicated to master stuff like that. So
I always saved my star power because some of the tougher songs, it was difficult for me to get actually through them.
Yeah.
So whenever I'd see my line going in the red here, I'd always activate star power,
and that's what a lot of people.
Bring me back
that's
up.
what a lot of people used it for.
Yeah.
But I think once us 3 especially ascended to that that top level of Guitar Hero play, then we were just like, I'm not saving it for when I'm going to fail.
I need points now. I want those 5 stars.
I need points. Yeah. I'm gonna, sit there and save it.
You were there the day that I beat 6 on performance mode without the fretboard up, right?
I was there.
No, I wasn't.
It was at his party, like right before school came back in session.
That's maybe one of my favorite songs to play.
Yeah. Oh, I love All That Remains. So does he. But
I like it.
his favorite All Remain song is 2 Weeks. Like, if anybody wants to like charm this little guy, like you just have to play that song for him. And he's
Kyle pulled the smooth moves earlier. That's how he pulled the smooth moves on Kyle.
Yep, exactly. He'll love you forever for that.
So we mentioned gameplay wise, which one was the best? You know, I said 3. You said 3.
Was my favorite.
And then mine was a split: Aerosmith for solo and Metallica for multiplayer. So,
which one do you think had the best songs? Because that's a totally different discussion. Which one had the best? And if we need to, we can definitely take a break and look at the songs to determine that.
one had a phenomenal set list.
One did, and I think 2 had it just as good.
2 was really good.
And 80s. I think the first 3's set list, like not 3 itself, but the first 3 that came out.
3 also had really good set lists. You think of those last songs, like Number of the Beast, 6,
1, Raining Blood.
Yeah, 1, yeah.
Oh yeah, those, like 3 had a good set list. I think I would put it below the first 3 that came out.
All right, we once again I forgot to plug the camera in. That's back-to-back weeks, and we all 3 had to take a bathroom break because we went through quite a bit of. Kyle's pretty much did that one by himself, and you know I've went through a little bit of that. So I think we're good on the beer for a little bit. We'll save that for tonight's fishing.
Oh
yes, hey, we got more at his house.
Hey, this enough is enough for a couple glasses. You've got more at his house.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
It'll be a good time. So anyway, we were talking about Guitar Hero. Let's go ahead and decide right now which one had the best songs.
Okay.
We were discussing a little bit off camera.
Yeah, and I think that me personally, and I think you're sort of in the same boat, think that 1 wins.
Yeah, just by default.
Just because it had so many good songs. It had Higher Ground by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh.
It had Cowboys from Hell by Pantera, my favorite band ever, by the way.
So a little bias there.
Of course. I mean, is there? Yeah, I'm Broken is on a later Guitar Hero, and there might be another one. Maybe not. I don't know, 5 Minutes Alone might have made it on. I can't remember for sure. But, yeah, so, like, it just had so many good tracks. And then the, like, Harmonix tracks, there's, like, I don't know if you realize this or not, but they use a lot of in-studio bands.
Yeah, because I know the first one didn't have any master tracks, correct?
Right. Well, oh, yes, you're right. It didn't have any master tracks on the first one. Okay, I was thinking about it the other way around.
Which one? No, that was Rock Band. I was getting ready to say...
Warriors of Rock had only master tracks. Like, so it was, like, the complete, like, juxtaposition, like, throughout the series. But, like, number 1 just had so many good, like, their tracks that they made. Like, I could, like... probably play it on guitar easier than I could actually think about it, but it's Anarchy Club, Behind the Mask. Like, that song was awesome, and it's like a Harmonix band. It wasn't even like a band that you hear on the radio and stuff. It had Hey You by the Exies, who was like probably my guilty pleasure band. Like, so there's a lot of just like really not well-known tracks and a lot of really, really well-known tracks, like Killer Queen by Queen. And
you had Ozzy. You had
Bark at the Moon, and then also Iron Man from Sabbath, like, which is an Ozzy song, I guess. But
yeah, more or less.
There's just so many great songs on Guitar Hero 1.
2 had a lot of good covers too.
2 would probably be like my favorite, because 2 was the one that I started on. Because I didn't actually play it until I started hanging out with him. And he already had Guitar Hero. You had Guitar Hero 2, right?
I had 1 and 2.
You had 1 and 2 at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. But I started playing on 2, and it was just like, for me, like I like things that like I start on, like the origin, like where everything begins and all that. And like 2, I think it had some pretty good songs too. It had 6, which is one of my, like, that's probably one of my favorite songs to play on every Guitar Hero was 6.
Yeah.
And it had what is that one song? I use it as my warm-up song. I can't remember. Can you remember what it was?
Was it The Light That Blinds by chance? Is that the...
Light That Blinds with a lot of
I like Shadows Fall's awesome, so like that song's great.
Man, I do want to go back and just like listen through the set list.
I have Guitar Hero 2 actually.
Oh,
and a guitar. I don't
You
know
get
if
it for
I
like $2 at the store.
Yeah, me and him bought Guitar Hero 2 at GameStop for $2.
what a buy!
Yeah, we both bought a copy. And here's how we played it, because we both wanted all the achievements, and you can't get all the achievements on the same Xbox, like on some of the older games for whatever reason. So what we did was we put his TV here and my TV here, and we would start songs at the exact same time, and we would play them simultaneously so that we could play them together, compare afterwards, and
And they get the achievements as
Yeah,
well. So it was basically Pro Face Off, except
for like
Except
two
I
different
had
consoles.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had my console here, my TV, and he had his console and his TV right next to me.
Yeah. So
speaking,
That's pretty
it
sweet.
reminds me of Gunnar and Shane. I can't remember if there was a third person. They would play through Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, all on 3 separate TVs, and try and speedrun it at the same
I
time.
remember that.
Yeah, because they would
wow.
talk about doing that.
So they tried to beat the game, like whoever could beat the game first.
Yeah.
But they all played it like right next to each other, all on 3 different consoles.
Yep, and they play in the same room. Just maybe you can like look over, like, oh, he's right there.
That's awesome. And then that way, like that's kind of nice because you're also like kind of hanging out with them in a way.
Yeah,
And
even though it's a single player experience.
Yeah.
yeah,
The only game I ever did speed runs for was Resident Evil 4. It's like that game was so if I look at a flawless game, like Resident Evil 4 is
It's really close.
probably as close as I've ever seen.
Really close. I think the only thing that I would say maybe is a letdown is I'm not a huge fan of the final boss. It's kind of iffy.
Which one's the final boss?
That's the
Is
one
it-
where you're at the top of the scaffolding and you shoot him
Okay.
with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, well, by that point in time, like you've got so much good like items and stuff that he's normally a joke regardless.
But
so.
some of the other bosses, like the big lumbering guy, the guy who's like triple your size? I'm trying to think.
I can't think of
Where it's in
the giant.
Yeah,
I
the
can't remember
giant
the
where
name
you're
of
like
it,
in the
but-
canyon and stuff. There
Yeah.
was and then you had the fear from the chainsaws.
Yeah, U3 was an awesome boss fight, like just because you had to like knock over the cryo chamber thing to freeze him and then shatter him. Like that game was really, really fun. Like
Really ahead of its time because the graphics, that's
yeah.
not the
And
last
it was
gen.
a GameCube game, and it literally was blowing away all the PS2 and Xbox games at the time. Like there wasn't a comparison.
Yeah.
Like, there just wasn't.
we tried to have a Resident Evil marathon, like where we'd play Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, and then did we include 5 in it?
We played 5, but I think what ended up
'Cause-
happening was we couldn't.
We couldn't beat level the first one.
because of tank controls.
I can't remember. It was all like in a mansion, and like we kept getting lost.
We didn't use a walkthrough or anything. We just
Yeah.
played like from memory, and I was the only one that had played it.
Yeah,
And I had never played any of them but 5.
Yeah.
I still have yet to play like 4 and
Four-
like all the previous
4 is
ones.
definitely like
Yeah.
the
That's
swan
what-
song of all of the Resident Evil.
4 is fantastic. 5 is really good, but I think that the reason why I got such like harsh criticism was because 4 was so good that 5 should have been better.
And it was
there's
it was also
no
an
way.
action game compared to a horror game.
Yeah.
Because that's what 4 was.
Yeah,
I think the story in 2 is really good.
yeah.
I like Nemesis in 3.
3 was 3 was so good. Like Nemesis, just like the fact that he could just come out of nowhere
Do
was.
you
so,
understand? Do you know 3?
I don't know.
Explain
I only played
3 to
5.
him.
I've only played
3,
5.
you're like in this. I can't remember the exact storyline, but I remember you're like trying to get back to Raccoon City. Is that correct?
That I don't know either.
It's like you're trying to get back to the where 1 was at or something to that extent, and so you're like playing through like this. Well, they've created this like super like badass zombie.
Who carries a rocket launcher?
Yeah, and he's got like the Las Plagas. Like it's like the first the first time you see it, they don't call it that at the time, but he's got like the worms coming out of his arms and
Okay.
stuff, and he's just like big, bad, scary.
He
son of a
chases
bitch,
you the
like-
entire game.
Yeah.
Which is why it's called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So like from the get go, he's like on your tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Oh,
there's
it's
choices.
so much
There's
fun.
choices around. You can either run or you can fight him
Yeah.
or try to fight him. And
Can you beat him at the beginning?
I think you can't beat him at the beginning. Like you might be able to if you're like really good at the game. Maybe I know you can kill him
So
at
he's
some point.
he's killable. At the beginning.
He's killable, but I don't know if like he's killable like before a certain point in the game because you have to remember this was that was probably the first game I really got into. Was
What console was it on?
PS1.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So.
You know, you were speaking about how hard and how you got stuck with Resident Evil One.
Mm-hmm.
The best version that I hear a lot of people say about it of Resident Evil One is the GameCube remaster, because they remastered it for GameCube with the graphics of 4. But it looks so
they
good.
recently did something similar with PC, but I feel like they took the remastered version from GameCube and made it for PC.
I think so.
I know they updated 4, and the graphics look better, and it's like, wow, this is nice, but the controls are horrible. So
The controls for the GameCube were so perfect.
yeah, I think that,
I actually own it still.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. The first time I played it was
might still have it if I.
First time I played it was in Gunnar Kennedy's basement, and the legend goes in Gunner's basement it's haunted.
Oh yeah.
Because like you would hear random creaks, you'd see shadows and things like that. Because they had that window that was facing. Have you guys been in Gunner's basement?
It's been a while.
He had those glass doors, and because it was right next to the road, there would be like lights that would shine from other cars, and it would make shadows and stuff. And the pillars. He had like 4 pillars in the basement.
I know where his house is at, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He had pillars in the basement, so that would make different shadows, so you'd think someone is standing like right next to you.
But it's just a shadow from the car.
Or it's the shadow from the pillar and things like that, the way the light shined in. Ooh, it was bothersome. And then we played that, and I remember like jumping at like the dogs that would come out of the shadows and jump on you, and like getting petrified at that, and then like trying to go to sleep, and you'd see like the shadow standing next to someone, and you're like, you couldn't sleep.
Yeah. Oh, Resident Evil was such a great series. I actually was thinking about like bringing up like top 5 video game franchises, and like that would have definitely made my list for top 5. So.
We can just do some honorable mentions because we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
We'll do some honorable mentions. Mainly speak to the people at home. Like if you want to binge play a series, because a lot of people nowadays they binge watch a show.
Oh yeah.
And with the accessibility of some games, you can get a copy of. Anything like that, and in many different mediums.
There's a lot that you could binge watch
or
binge play.
Yeah.
The Warcraft series, we talked about that a lot last week.
After going to see the movie.
Yeah. Borderlands, like a lot of people don't like it, but if you have like 4 friends and you play Borderlands, like
4 friends is the way to go on it.
You can't have more fun.
Did you guys play Tales? The new...
I only played the main games.
And I heard a lot of good things about Tales as well, because it's more story-driven, and it's one of the funniest games of last year.
Oh, really?
Because it's set in the Borderlands series, but, like, it's not focused on the shooting or anything. It's focused on, like, at times, the universe of Borderlands is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So it was set around, like, the hilarious nature of, like... the Borderlands universe.
9 toes, yeah.
And so it had like
9 toes.
It had 5 episodes, I think, and they were done by the guys who did the Walking Dead game.
Yeah, and
the Wolf,
the
Wolf Among, or the Wolf.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was called.
Was that what it was called? The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also did the Game of Thrones game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a Game of Thrones one. It was 6 episodes. They did Tales from the Borderlands. They're doing the Minecraft story mode, so it's very similar to that, but it actually gives story to Minecraft. And the newest one is they're doing Batman. So
that's kind of cool.
I know. Apparently at E3, their setup was you go into this room, so it's like a mini theater, but the entire like theater display is the Bat computer. Yeah. So it's pretty sick. So I think. Let's see, binge play a series. You said Borderlands. That's why I brought up Tales. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably say Halo.
Yeah, you both have been tried and true Halo players.
We played a lot of Halo.
A lot of Halo 3.
Halo 3 was our glory days. We played. Me and him would play doubles, and we were like almost unbeatable because I was like really skilled with like sniper rifles and BRs, and he was.
And I was good with like close range guy. I was more like mid range actually.
I still love watching Griffball.
Oh my gosh,
hilarious to watch.
Griffball is really fun.
I think what made Halo 3 really like kick off was all the matchmaking you could do with it. I know like Halo 1 and Halo 2 they had a little bit of it, but I don't know how many people had like Xbox Live for just the regular Xbox.
Yeah. A lot of people did, because I remember playing Xbox Live with the original Xbox, but it was like elite gamers back then.
Yeah.
Uniquely. Like, you wouldn't see many just casual gamers back in that time frame. Same with PlayStation Network back in the PS2 internet. Like, I played on the internet one time and got absolutely destroyed and was like, I'm never installing it again. I
didn't even know what Xbox Live was at the time. Because I had both a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox, so I kind of like flipped back and forth, and I was just a casual gamer at the time. Yeah. So I had no idea what Xbox Live was until the 360s came out with Halo 3.
But nowadays, I even think of like people who play like Call of Duty online. I think of those as casual gamers because they just play like. I think of a hardcore gamer as those that are willing to like play more than just a single game.
Yeah,
because you can have like your specific games and you can be competitive in that aspect, but you're not just. I think you're less of a gamer and more of like.
Yeah, that's so true. Because
you're a COD player instead of like a gamer. A gamer is someone who's willing to like dive into the entire medium. Yeah. Whereas like I think of COD players, I'm a Smash player. You're more of a WoW player.
Yeah, and if you tried to beat one of the midwinter players in like a shooter, they'd probably kick your ass. Like, they're all extremely good at shooters. Unless that's the only thing you play, like, they're probably gonna beat you.
So I mean, that's just how some people are. You look at competitive gamers, and they're competitive at like an esports level. They're competitive in their singular game. It doesn't really meld. Yeah. It's not like they're good at. You don't get a lot of cross esport
I think that's
athletes.
Definitely what I would like. A pro gamer or like a professional gamer, like actually like a professional gamer, is somebody that I would say plays one game like at an elite level, and then someone that labels himself as a gamer, I would put like they have to play more than one game. Like, that's the way I would see it.
I think for me, looking at franchises that I would recommend people play, I was a Nintendo guy growing up, so you gotta look at like the Mario series. It's
Mario's still one of my favorites. I just don't have a Wii.
All like even you go back and play like 64. You play Mario World. I'm going through playing Yoshi's Island right now.
I actually have the 64 remake for my DS, but I haven't played it. Like,
they released it on the DS.
Yeah.
Yep, they re-released it, and you play as different characters. So you could play as like Mario, you could play as Luigi, Yoshi, and Wario.
I had no idea.
See, I didn't know that. See, I didn't even boot it up.
Avery played it all the time, and I also
awesome.
just knew the other characters. Yeah. And they played a little bit different, so you had like those aspects.
Yeah, different or like sort of like a talent tree or something. Like, I mean, it's obviously different for a Nintendo game.
You also had, the Zelda series. I don't know if you guys have seen the new stuff for.
I haven't looked it up, but
Breath of Wind, I think, is what it's called.
I don't know any about Zelda.
The new one is open world. Has like weapons scattered everywhere, so you're not just using one sword. So like you'll fight an enemy and you'll get his weapon and it'll go into like your equipment that you can use, and then everything in the environment is interactive. So like there's like tall grass, you can take fire and run it through the grass, and the grass will like burn the entire field.
That's pretty cool.
What about most overrated gaming franchise? The Elder Scrolls.
That was what first popped in my head.
Like,
I think pre-Skyrim. I think Skyrim is just overrated. Because,
I think Skyrim's like a 3 out of 10. Like, honestly, that's what I would rate it. Like,
I think you can pump a lot of hours into it, but I don't think it's the best of its genre.
No, it's not even the best of its own series. Like,
it's not, because
Morrowind and Oblivion both blow it out of the water.
Yeah, I know Caleb spent so much time playing Oblivion, and I hear so many people say like, if we could people were say like, oh, I know you're gonna say Skyrim's better, but Morrowind for its time was it.
If you remastered Morrowind, I think it has more content than Skyrim.
It has so much content,
and Skyrim is just by default. Like, I always played Elder Scrolls games on like the top difficulty. I'd slide it all the way up, and I never played lower than that. And I beat Skyrim like 97% of the achievements in 60 hours. Like, that's atrocious. Like, there's no fun in this 60-hour game. Like,
yeah, and if you want to get into like series that are RPG fantasy based, you can go to the Dragon Age series,
Final
Fantasy, or you can even do like modern day. You can play the Witcher series because
I want to try that out because I've heard only great things about.
Yeah, Shane has the Witcher 3, but he's never played it, which I can't believe he's never played it. But like, It's a, I think, 60-hour game just for the main quest, and you can pump over 100 hours into the side quests. And the side quests actually have, like, story to it. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to go put my bucket in the water and get some fish, and that's the side quest.
Like we mentioned Borderlands, and I have 31 days on one character on the original Borderlands.
Lord. Which class?
Hunter.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people play.
Yeah.
I like the soldier and the berserker.
I'm a sniper rifle guy.
I like soldier.
Berserker's so much fun though.
Berserker's fun.
You've tried the explosion build I was talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Where you just blow people's heads off.
You literally just like use explosive weapons for this like berserker and just go ballistic and everything just dead.
So much explosive AoE.
Yeah.
Just mainly use explosive weapons like SMGs, rocket launchers, exploding shotguns, sniper rifle. They even had exploding sniper rifles in the first one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's only one in number 2.
Yeah. So.
We've talked about a lot, and we're well into probably the 2 hour range.
Yeah.
Any final things you want to hit on? Can't be much.
Colts suck. Patriots are the best team.
There goes half my audience.
I waited till the end.
Oh, at least me. If you're still here, big props to you for making it that long. But hope I see you episode 6, maybe.
I'll still be here.
It's good to have you.
It was great to be here.
I had to shake the hand of the usual first because he's always been supportive.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kyle, for coming up.
Thanks for having
us. Being on the show. So I'm Dylan St. Clair, and that's Buds and Plenty, episode 5.
Rock on, dudes.
Peace out.